Living Hope started with a voice memo I got from a worship leader from Bethel Church at Reading. His name's Brian Johnson. And he said, hey, this moment during worship popped out with this melody, and he hummed this melody over this voice memo. And immediately, the melody made me think of these old hymns that I grew up singing, like "Come Thou Fount" and "It Is Well." And I just thought, man, what if we wrote like a modern hymn? And it started at the beginning. We were separated from God, but through the cross and the death and resurrection of Jesus, we were brought together, and ultimately like celebrating this amazing God who came into our darkness and brought light to us. And he's like, yeah, we should call it Living Hope. I'm like, that's a great title, you know? And so over the next month, we texted back and forth all about hope and verses and melodies. And probably 200 texts later, we had this song called Living Hope. And so the whole thing was written over text message. And now, man, it's become an anthem in my church. We just sing it. The church has just kind of made it their own prayer. And I know Brian's church as well. And yeah, man, the world just needs hope right now. And if we look for any kind of hope within the boundaries of the universe, everything eventually is going to die and fail. Like, we have to look outside of the universe to find some true hope, and we find it in God and Jesus, who showed us He's going to be alive forever. So that's what the song Living Hope is all about.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, I guess, when you say you wrote it back and forth on the text messages, because when you think about those museum pieces down the road, you know, we've got, this was scrolled on the back of a napkin, and this was on a restaurant menu. Yep. So then we're going to have to enshrine the phones.
Exactly,
exactly. 200 texts.
Yeah, put it on a thumb drive somewhere. It's like, the texts are on that thumb drive. Just trust us.
How has technology impacted the whole songwriting and everything for you?
Well, I don't live in Nashville, so there's a lot of guys that, you know, live here, and they maybe can call each other up and meet up a lot easier than me. I live in Southern California, in San Diego, so I write from a distance a lot. And honestly, I've found that I love spending a lot of time crafting a song, where some guys are so great in the room, and they'll come up with ideas, and they'll feel the moment, and it's just like, how are you doing that? You're amazing, you know? With me, I need to really cast a vision for a song and meditate on it and think through it, and I love writing and then rewriting, and then how can I make it better? And I think technology and texting and emails and FaceTime really plays into that, because you're not forced to sit down and start and finish a song in a room over a 3-hour period, but you really could, you know, I loved, even with Living Hope, but probably half the record, with guys I was writing with, you know, you send an idea, you hum a melody into the voice memo and text it, you know, and 2 days later, someone's like, hey, I was living with that melody. I thought maybe this kind of line would sit good in there. It's like, yeah, it's awesome. And you go to your piano. And so I love the pressure of needing to get it done now, of what that takes off of technology, you know, and the fact that I could be in a Starbucks or something in Utah, and all of a sudden it's like, I think I know what the second verse is supposed to be about. So I go outside and sing it right into my phone and send it. And so I think it helps me a lot.